I heard all the complaints about the old WMX series. It was too tough to run them in the weekend. We were too jammed for time, which is true. Fans, were walking away from the fences. We were running them. We were giving them the last moto of the day on Saturday. Sometimes that didn't work out. Everybody wanted to leave. You guys did get screwed in Lakewood though with the weather, but so there was a lot of issues going on, and some of them I agree with on why WMX mothballed the WMX, or why MX Sports mothballed the WMX series the first time, and I get it. Some of those races with Geiger and Feilich and Patterson were amazing though. They were really good. And then off the track they hated each other too, so that added to it. So there was some great racing going in, but on the end, I got to be honest, I sort of agreed with MX Sports' side of what the reason why WMX went away. So they brought it back. Kudos to them for trying this. I think it was a concentrated effort by a few parties to make this happen. Are we better? Is what they're doing working? Is it better than it was? How's it going, MX Sports-wise, bringing back WMX? In your eyes, Sophie.
Yes, we are better.
Okay.
And, I mean, I will get this out there. I'm 22 right now. So when they took away the series, I was 10 or something.
Right.
So maybe I don't have the best perspective on this, but
I'm sure you heard some things on it, though. Yeah.
I have. Yeah. And I remember I was at the last major race of WMX when Ashley and Jessica were battling at Lake Elsinore for the final round of their championship. I remember being there as a little kid just eating it up.
Right.
And I also remember that Ashley Feilich and Jessica Patterson had some of the longest fan lines going up to their trucks. Mm-hmm. When we would go over there for autographs, they were just so long. And my dad has told me about that since. Like, he's confirmed that memory is true. But some things that we're doing well, some things that we could work on. I mean, we have a 6-round series out of 11 rounds, which is pretty sweet.
Yep.
Would I like more? I mean, that would be awesome. But I think currently, since we don't have very many women who are being flown out to the races, 6 might be about what we can handle right now, as far as, everybody's kind of paying their own way. So I think 6 is probably a good number, not to mention we got these 3 West Coast rounds that are back-to-back-to-back, and then same thing with the East Coast rounds. Not to mention it's the first 3 of the series and the last 3, which are kind of, I mean, I don't know what the viewership numbers are, but I would assume that's where people pay the most attention.
Yeah, I think you're right, because it point series near the end and then the excitement of the new series, right?
Right, yeah, so I think that's really good. I mean, one thing that we're kind of I don't know if struggling with is the right word, but an area that we could improve on is numbers on the gate. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad that I won't be at the East Coast rounds because we could use more women. And that's a really important thing, especially when you're trying to get this class and this series up off the ground. We've been averaging about 20 women, but I just listed off top 7 who all have very impressive backgrounds and resumes. Yeah. So it's not a slow class by any means. Like the girls in front of me rip.
Are they going as fast as Feilich and Patterson, do you think?
I have heard from people that our generation is faster.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very subjective. And the bikes are higher quality now and different things, right? So there's a lot to take into account. But yeah, I've heard, yes, we're faster. I've also heard that our battles are just really great, and I hope that's the case. What I love about our series right now, you said that those ladies they didn't get along off the track. Pretty much everyone gets along in the paddock, which I think is really important for our series right now. If we were at each other's throats to the point where we're protesting every weekend and we're running up to the Coombs and, hey guys, we need to protest X, Y, and Z, and this is terrible, and complaining, then they would cut our series so fast, because right now I don't know that we're bringing in that much money right now. They know that this is kind of a long-term investment.
Yeah, I think props to them for for doing this and trying it again. I do know back in the day from people I talked to, they were also tired of getting maybe yelled at is the wrong word, but getting lots of complaints from the women on everything that they did. And MX Sports is like, man, we're trying, and you guys are not happy, and we're trying our best, and they eventually were like, I think a little bit like, listen, man, if you're going to just complain about this, everyone from the parents to the racers, we're out.
Absolutely.
I would guess having Christina Denny involved, that helps with that a little bit, kind of had a little cushion, and she's a very big supporter of it, and so I would assume having her involved is helping quite a bit.
Yes, yeah, and I was actually going to mention her. So for those who don't know, Christina Denny is the WMX coordinator, and she runs basically everything. And unlike maybe some people for other sports leagues or whatever who are just overseeing it, she knows each of us personally. Mm-hmm. And if she hears you're coming to a race, she'll text you and, hey, what can I help you out with? Do you know everything about the rounds? At some cases, I was struggling to find some race fuel because there was none on our way, and she was able to find me some. Mm-hmm. She's just very involved with all of the women because she wants us to succeed as well. She's an incredible powerhouse of a human being, and she takes our opinions into consideration and just really wants to make this succeed. Something that I was very impressed with after both Paula and Hangtown is that she sent out a survey to all of the riders and said, please fill this out. It was basically, how would you rate this? How would you rate this? What could we do better? What did we do well?
Yeah, I don't think that was ever being done before. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that because you said, I did hear about a lot of complaining. That's what I heard, is that's one big reason that it got shut down. Mm-hmm. And she is just willing to take all those complaints on her and then do her best with it. And I remember after Paula, I filled out a couple of things on the question of what can we do better, and I just said hey, the track cut off because we weren't able to run the full course at Paula or Hangtown, and I said I get that we can't always run the full track. I would like to, but if we can't, can we make the cutoff better? The cutoff was pretty blue groove at Paula, so just we were all racing really hard, and then it was full shutdown.
Oh, you mean the extra lane, the lane to go. The lane to cut the section off.
Yes.
That's what you mean. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There was a really one-line section and then just a flat blue groove corner.
Yeah. They just basically moved the tape and went, go this way. Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that, that's a skill that you should have, but it was the one-linedness of the whole section that was a little bit frustrating, and they fixed that. And then I also mentioned, I think it'd be great if we could have time qualifying, and she did that the next round, and I said I wish we could get on the track more than once, because at Paula we had one, I think, 12-minute practice, and she changed that, so then at Hangtown we had 2 15-minute practices. It was incredible. Just she wants feedback, and someone who's willing to be humble enough to say we can improve, but also strong enough to put her foot down on different things with different groups of people that she's working with is incredible. And she's got
the right connections, right? Because she's obviously been plugged in with the AMA forever. So
yeah, because she's also the designations. I don't know if she's the coordinator or what her title is, but
she can go in with a feather to talk to people instead of a sledgehammer, maybe other people or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also better to not have Sophie and Kylie and their team manager or their boyfriends all complaining.
Which I think was what
where they can all go to Christina,
and
Christina can go to whoever at MX Sports and say, hey, these are some things we need to
honestly, I was talking to somebody about WMX and the Combine, which is Futures. What are they calling it now?
SMX Next.
Yeah, whatever that is. So I was talking, honestly, I think the teams and riders like the one-day format that we have now, all Saturday. But to me, they could, and if you're a promoter, this would work great. You could sell more tickets, and maybe there's something where 2 teams every other week go in on Fridays and sign or something, because a press day or whatever. Maybe if you're going to press day, you also have to sign. I could see a road where the promoters are we're going to a 2-day format, and the Friday will be Combine and women racing.
Yeah.
That's it. No Combine on Saturday.
That's next.
Okay, and then also these 2 teams. Then we got press day. We're going to put press day in the middle there somewhere in that. And then also, so you're going to get to watch women, Combine, press. So these 2 teams are going to be signing, whatever, you rotate them. These 2 teams are going to be signing. And now you're selling a 2-day ticket to fans. And yes, some teams have to show up for the second day, because one of the things the teams didn't want is that we used to go 2-day format for decades.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. And then now you have the women and the Combine kids with a bigger audience, and you buy a 2-day ticket, and you're getting autographs, and you're watching press day and all of that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and
I'm still not going to be there myself. I don't want to do a 2-day format, but I think there's an opening for it.
Steve is all about women until he has to help the women.
Yeah. No, still I got to go the extra day.
That's why he tells me to have him on my show.
Yeah, listen, 30 years of traveling, I don't want to go 2 days. But
I think it's really important to give more support and get some more acknowledgement to these women, because there are so many young girls and buddies' wives who are racing at the amateur races that they deserve a spot.
Look, listen, this is what part of what with the LGBTQ thing that I didn't like. we need everybody. Everybody can race. Women, gay people, people of color. I don't care. All good to race motocross to me. So let's appeal to as much people as we can and get them to the races. You know what I mean?
Are you kidding me?
Do I want to watch all of it? No, it doesn't matter though. But do the little girls and everybody else? Sure, great. You know. So to me, it's awesome.
My dad says this all the time. Mostly when he gets really riled up about, hoping that women can get their spot someday and whatnot. He tells me all the time, women are the largest untapped market in motocross, by far.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's totally true. We don't advertise enough to the women in the sport. And every guy that shows up on a race weekend or a practice weekend has some woman backing him, whether that's his mom, his sister, his girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a woman that we could, whether or not they're there, we could advertise to them because they're going to eventually see this marketing and get it. And not to mention, like, hey guys, this benefits you too. If your girlfriend wants to go out and ride, you get to ride more.
Yeah.
So I think there's a spot for that.
I think it's awesome. So you mentioned MX Sports is working hard, doing it. What can they do better at though? You mentioned the surveys and stuff and all that, but like, what would you like if you could just wave a magic wand and MX Sports could help you guys? What would you want?
Ooh, wave a magic wand is hard.
Okay.
Just because I see both sides of it now, having been there a couple of weekends, and last year we had a couple of weekends with them, I can see why they can and can't pull off certain things. Now, ideally, everyone wants to race on Saturday. The ideal thing is that we get a race on Saturday, whether that's one moto or both motos.
Were you okay with being the last moto at Lakewood?
Yes.
Was
it crazy? Yes.
Yes.
But it was okay. And it was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cool experience, because usually at that point, after 250, 450 motos, they scrap the track.
Yeah.
And instead of scrapping it, we got to make it worse.
Yeah.
Which it was just unreal to go out there and see. I mean, especially the conditions that weekend, because there was so much groundwater that the ruts got so deep. You'd go into some of the corners, and I can think of one corner in particular that I didn't realize on the sight lap.
The one on the bottom of the hill, going down to the very bottom after the tabletop in the back?
No, it was kind of the first corner, second corner up at the top of the hill. Anyways, near the Thunder Valley sign. But I remember on the sight lap not realizing that there was an outside line because the inside rut had built up as tall as the outside berm, and I couldn't see it. And to give you an idea of just how gnarly it was.
Yeah.
And they prepped some sections for us, which I appreciated, because honestly we would not have had a break otherwise, except for on a couple of jumps. But yeah, that was cool. So I guess waving a magic wand, we would
be able to... 2 motos on Saturday.
Yeah, but I also see the schedule, and if anyone has ever looked up the schedule, they have it down to the minute of when they do the sight laps and the motos and the podiums and everything. So I fully understand why they can't pull that off. But yeah, that would be my magic wand. That, and then a little bit more qualifying time for us. So the 2 15-minute qualifiers, I felt like that was good. I fully understand that we are not the money makers yet. Now, will we ever be the top money makers? No, but I honestly think that we could bring in attention to the sport if we play our cards right.
I don't know how this really works as far as support, so maybe you can help us out. Back in the day, Filek and Patterson were getting paid money, bikes, parts, all of that. Where are we at with OEM support for Lala or the other top girls? I mean, obviously, or yourself, like, what level are these girls getting from the OEMs that you know of? And maybe you don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
as far as I can tell you, and I might get some of these details wrong, but basically I believe Lala and KK are getting bikes. Charlie might actually have the best deal. I mean, they're flying her over from Australia, so I would assume that's probably a pretty sweet setup. KK's being flown in to the races, and whether basically there's a bike there at the races. I don't know if she's paying for flights or not.
She's Altus Yamaha.
KK's on SLR Honda.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I think dark.
Yeah, it's okay. Lachlan's on all.
That's okay. He's studying now, so that when he moves his podcast in the WMX direction, he'll have all the info.
He'll have it down.
Yeah, this will be good. We're practicing. But Lala is on the Altus Yamaha team, and as far as I know, it's bikes and kind of just like a,
are we get a per race thing?
Here's what you need. I don't know that she's getting a salary. Okay. I could see maybe some contingency. I know that as far as gear, I think most girls are getting a pretty decent gear contingency, and those who are on Monster are getting Monster contingency. but that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah.
Is
probably not as good as it
between
used to
those
be
girls.
for those for JP and Ashley and all that.
Ashley.
Yeah.
I would guess not. No, and in fact I was doing some research beforehand before I got here. Well, I try to take notes, but there's not much research to do. This is the tricky part. Is there's not a whole lot of WMX payout.
Yeah.
They have on their website just a link to the contingency. So I'm not don't think I'm doing that much research. It's not that fancy, but I wasn't able to find the Yamaha contingency. I'm sure it exists for WMX. I would like to think so. Kawasaki, as far as I'm aware, it has the best contingency. So for a win, an overall win at a round, it's $1,500.
Okay.
So not bad.
Not bad. Yep.
That's like an amateur national level.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But that's the best. So going down from there, every other OEM is worse.
Yeah.
And
so it sounds like the support can be a little better than what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, but I can't miss saying this, that I am so grateful for everything they have done because Kawasaki has helped me out so much. They are amazing to me, and their contingency is the best. At all of these races that I've been going to, I'm checking contingency, obviously, and they have the best payout out of all of the manufacturers.
But the Yamaha's winning.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, the Yamaha. Okay, just checking. Yeah.
Yes.
Blue Crew. Okay.
That's correct, yeah. Lachlan Turner is winning on a Yamaha, if we
the
want
Yamaha
to be more specific.
Is the best
Did the
bike right
Yamaha...
now.
Lux's faster sister.
Yeah.
But yes, Lachlan Turner is winning.
Yeah, on the Yamaha.
Does the Yamaha win when Steve Mathis is racing?
No,
okay.
It doesn't. No, we don't even make Lorettas. Everyone makes Lorettas, but
us two.
Just us two losers. Everyone else gets tickets.
Yeah.
Aiden, Chris, Turd.
Hudson, yeah.
Turd gets tickets.
Turd gets multiple from multiple.
And we,
facilities.
the losers, get nothing. Yeah.
They take them all.
The losers don't get tickets. That kind of checks out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Let's check it out. So it sounds like the OEM stuff. And again, they're trying. I didn't get you in the show to I just want to try to make things better or give our listeners and viewers a sense of where this new WMX series is, where it stands. So
I appreciate you having me on here so I can talk about it. I also wrote down our WMX purse. So at a minimum, and this is what it's tended to be at for each of the races, is that per moto, first place is getting 300, second is 200, third is 125, and then it drops off a little after that. So just as far as our expenses getting out there, okay, if I were to win right now, say because I am on a Kawasaki, if I were to win both motos, go 1-1, then I would get the 1,500 plus the 600, 2,100. That's if I have no other contingencies.
300 a moto? You mean 300 a moto?
Correct, yeah. Yep. So it would be 2,100.
Yep.
Now, if you think about expenses to get out to any race, that's not it.
No.
So that's the unfortunate thing that we're kind of up against, is that if you want to win this championship or even place up high in this championship, you are paying heavily for it.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that we're struggling with right now, is that kind of a lot of the girls are pretty young because they're still with their parents, and their parents are, sure, we'll chase this.
Are all these women going to go to Loretta's? Is it all?
Let's see,
a
lot
most
of them are.
Yeah, most.
Yes.
And so that'll be contingency there, like a real, maybe even better contingency.
Yeah, I think as far as Kawasaki, it's 2,000. I haven't looked at
Oh, so it's not that much more. Okay, so it's only $500 more.
Yeah, I believe so. And that could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm just thinking of another way that, are they making more money at Loretta's? And it sounds like they are a little bit.
Yes.
If they do, okay.
Yeah. But, that's a one-off race. And anyways.
And that race costs a lot more to go to.
Yeah, I think my friend Chris just ranted about that on social media.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
And I recall from just 2 years ago paying that.
Sophie Phelps here on the Pulp MX show, by the way.